All right, first today we are going to learn how to write a rule in slope-intercept form. So you've been doing this for a long time, but this is the video where we're kind of going to bring all the pieces together and make sure that you can write a rule even if you're not given very much information just by following a series of steps. Okay, so let's title this Write a Rule in Slope-Intercept form. Of course, we remember that that is y equals mx plus b. You've dated it. It all looks great. Okay, so first, the easiest way to write a rule in slope-intercept form would be if you're given the slope and the y-intercept. So if we know that this is example number 1, if we know that the slope is -2/3 and the y-intercept is 0, -8, well, that's my m, that's my b, so y equals -2/3 x minus 8. Just want to make sure we remember that so that that can ground us as we continue and make this more complicated. Okay, so next scenario, let's say this time, that was example 1, this is example 2. Let's say this time you are given the slope of 1/2, but instead of being given a y-intercept, you're just given another random point. Let's say it goes through the point 23. That is not the y-intercept. Not very helpful. But we can use it. So we know that all coordinates are written in the form x, y. We've used that a lot. So another way of thinking about this is that in this rule, whatever, we don't know what it is, but in this rule, whenever x equals 20, y equals 3. If the input is 20, the output is 3, right? So we can set up our equation and just plug in the stuff we know. So so y equals 1/2 x plus b. I don't know what that b is, but I do know an x value and I do know a y value. So I can substitute them in. So I can take my y value of 3 and put that in over here. So I can say 3 equals 1/2 times, and then I can put my x value in there because I know that for this input-output pair it should work. And then I just have to solve for what that b value is. So what b value will make this input-output pair work. So that gives me 3 equals 1/2 of 20 is 10 plus b, solve by subtracting 10, and I get b equals -7. So that means my rule is y equals 1/2 x minus 7. And I can confirm that it works. I can see that the slope's right, and I can put my point back in to check and see that it works. So I could do 3 equals 1/2 of 20 minus 7, which is essentially the same math that I just did, right? That gives me 3 equals 10 minus 7, which is true. Woohoo! Hooray! We did it. All right, next, let's say, actually no, I'm going to give you one to do like that first, and then we'll make it a little bit trickier. So let's say that the slope is -4 and the point is 3, -9.5. Pause now and calculate the equation, please. Try and do it without graphing, without making a table, just doing the steps that we did before. So first I'll plug in my slope, -4. I have my x value and my y value, so I'll put those in too. -9.5 equals -4 times 3 plus b. That would be a -12 I'll add 12 to both sides. So that would be a positive 2.5 equals b. So y equals negative 4x plus 2.5. Hopefully that's what you got to. All right, now let's try it where you have 2 points instead and no slope. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to find the equation of a line when we're just given 2 points. So, equation from 2 points. So go ahead and write these points down, 3, -1, and 5, 3. So the first thing we need to do is find the slope. So we're going to go ahead and write our steps over here. So step number 1 is find the slope. x1, y1, x2, y2. This is a great opportunity to use that slope formula that we learned not even last week, the week before. So here you're going to do 3, well, let's see, I'll write it out again because sometimes it's nice to have these things all in one place. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals m. So I'm going to plug in my step. I'm going to do 3 minus -1. It's a minus negative because negative, negative, over 5 minus 3. That gives me 4, because subtracting negatives like adding, over 5 minus 3 is 2. So that means that 2 is my m value. Next, I'm going to plug in m into the rule. So y equals 2x plus b. So into the rule y equals mx plus b. And then I need to pick one of the points. It does not matter which one. Whichever one looks friendlier to you is the one you're going to use. I'm maybe going to do that one since it doesn't have any negatives, but really it doesn't matter. Either one is fine. So use one point as x and y to solve for b. So I'm going to pick this guy right here, 5, 3, has to be one of the original points, can't just like make up a random point, x, y, so that means 3 equals 2 times 5 plus b, 3 equals 10 plus b, I'll take away my 10s and I get b equals -7. Okay? So then I'm going to plug b into the rule. So I now have y equals, I got my 2 from above, 2x minus 7. Woohoo! Hooray! I'm done. Almost. Except we should always check our work on these types because there's so many different spots you can make a mistake, like here, for example. So then we're going to go 5. Step 5 is check with the other point. You don't want to check with the one we already used. 5, 3 is done. We've used that one up. But you're going to check with the other one. If you check with the same one, then unless you made a mistake right here, it's going to tell you that it worked, even if it didn't. But if you check up with this one, then it'll also check the slope. So then I'm going to do 3, -1 as my xy. So -1 equals 2 times 3 minus 7. Is that true? -1 equals 6 minus 7? Yes, it is. Hooray. Huzzah. We're amazing. Okay, are you ready to try it? It's your turn now. Okay, pause now and try and find the equation of the line between these 2 points. Hit play when you think you've got it or you're totally stuck. All right, if you're ready to go, let's do it. So you start out by finding the slope. 5 minus negative 2 over negative 3 minus negative 4. That gives me 7 over 1. So my slope is 7. So now I have y equals 7x plus b. I'm going to plug in one of my points. Maybe I'll pick this one first, negative 4 minus 2. Neither one seems especially better than the other. So negative 2 equals 7 times negative 4 plus b. That gives me negative 28 equals negative 2 plus b, which means that b equals 26. So my rule is y equals 7x plus 26. I'm going to check it by plugging in my other point. So check. We're going to do negative 3, 5 is my xy. So 5 equals 7 times negative 3 plus 26. 5 equals negative 21 plus 26. Yes, indeed, that is true. Hooray, we did it. Let's go ahead and do your practice problem now. All right, for your practice problem, you're going to find the equation without graphing, just like we've been practicing, between the points 4, negative 2 and negative 4, negative 4. Go ahead and type that equation in to Canvas, and we will talk about this next week.